Hey there, friends, and welcome to your Lucid Living Show, where you join and participate with us in our essential conversations with ordinary people achieving the extraordinary. The Lucid Living Show is brought to you and sponsored by themindfulnessadvantage.com. Our wingman and producer today is Andy Brine of hangouttribes.com. Thank you for staying with us for the next hour. Our featured guest today is Christine L. Bowen, my friend, founder and creator of CLB Creative Consulting. Today, we're inviting you to join us in our exploration of visionary leadership, how innovation, collaboration, and awakened imagination are the integral aspects of your vision building and your fulfillment. Christine will be joining the program in just a moment after our opening segment, First Words. So, what does it mean? What does it mean to truly be a visionary leader? The reality is, in this very moment now, you are, I am, and we are each and every one of us visionary leaders in our own right and in our own unique and authentic way. We often imagine we live in the shadows of other people's visions achieved. And the great truth we choose to invite you to consider this day is that every great leader, great visionary, maestro, champion, and master, they all started out on the very same playground of awakened imagination, curiosity, and inner inspiration as you are standing upon today. Whatever your spark of ideation, whatever your vision is, regardless of its scale, you are required to be the leader of your own personal vision. You are required to be your chief imagineer and architect of your own hero's journey. My featured guest, Christine L. Bowen, and I are here with you today to define and refine your role and our roles as emerging visionary leaders. We are here to offer up and amplify the call to greatness, the call to greater purpose and singular presence we are all hearing and feeling now. Friends, it's time to step up and step off the sidelines. It's time to break your cages and blow down the walls and perceptions of doubt and limit, to embrace and embody your inner destiny, to walk, then run, then fly on the wings of your own vision. We're here to call you out to be the leader and leaders you were born to be. So let's get our boom on and get this party started. Christine L. Bowen, thanks for being on the program today.
Hi, Gio. Boom. How are you? Thank you so much for having me today. It's such an honor to play a role in your vision and this greater vision of collective consciousness. I am so excited.
And again, every week it seems like, trusting my vision, my ideation, which was really big. In fact, after I realized what I had consented to, I sucked a little air, to be honest, and that's good. We'll talk about that later, because we want our dreams and visions to be way bigger than we are. But every time I sat down to do our content strategy meetings and to then meet and play and collaborate online, on the air, live, it's very clear that my certainty was not imagined. It was in the blood, it was in the bones, and I'm certain that you are my perfect partner today to explore and drill down into what the new definition is of visionary and visionary leader, and also, most importantly, what are the challenges that you and I have encountered, and what are the challenges that our friends out in the audience face when it comes to owning and living in their vision. So if you would share a little bit about your awakening to your vision, what your vision looks like. Jump in there.
Yeah, this is good stuff. I My personal vision is an oh so grand one. My personal vision that was placed within my heart is to lead or co-lead a mindset mission to help shift consciousness globally to a creative mindset. I call it a creative mindset reset. And this uh, episode on visionary leadership falls right into alignment with that. So it's such an honor to be able to express that publicly.
Hmm. So share with our audience what you woke up to that was inside and alive and breathing in you. Talk a little bit about your CLB, your Create, Live, Be.
That's a fantastic question. For me, I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. Um, all my life, I've been from a very, very young, tender age, kindergarten. I remember going to the parent teacher meeting with my mom, and the teacher said, this one here is something special. Watch her, encourage her. I couldn't be more than 6 years old. I didn't know what she was talking about. And from that point forward, I was always singled out as something different. And I would always downplay it and say, oh, no, 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 I'm just like everybody else. And it wasn't until almost 5 years ago I embarked upon a self-discovery process. Initially, it was just to build my brand and create my brand. I had no idea what I was getting into, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I discovered this vision, this purpose for my life. And one of my favorite quotes, and I think you posted it this morning, Gio,
Hmm.
is if your vision doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. And not scared in terms of, you're cowering. It's just so big and so huge and so larger than life that you start to, and I'm relating this to me, of course, start to question whether you're up for the task. And I thought, surely this couldn't be me. Who am I? A mindset mission? Really? I was blown away. And but I stepped into it. I eased into it. I allowed it to flow to me. And as the days, weeks, and months passed by, um, more and more of the picture was revealed to me. And now I believe that I am up to the task and I don't have to do it alone. I have beautiful, beautiful divine partners and connections like you, Gio,
Hmm.
that are helping me to amplify this big vision that's been placed within my heart.
Yay. That is so important. We're going to dive even deeper in, but what Christine just mapped out for us as her personal vision and ascendancy is really because it starts with the heart. It starts in the heart. It starts with your ability to still yourself, to mindfully listen and feel through the static. It takes practice. It takes a daily practice. But once we tap in and we see that glimmer, that spark, it's our responsibility to feed that spark. But at some point in time, we're required to enroll partners. We're required to enroll people who will authentically and objectively reflect back to us what they're seeing in us and what's unfolding. So, one, it's really of critical importance, especially if you have, not if, when you have a great vision that you're challenged with. And if you're not, again, it's too small. But when you have that, to enroll mentors, trainers, really pick and choose with great care and intuition who are your partners who run alongside you, even if they're just friends that you can share, your victories and your valley of the shadow with. Greatly important. There's a great comment by Kate Boyer out there, and Andy, if you'll throw that up, Kate Boyer.
Yeah, it was my new title, Chief Imaginer, and that
Yeah.
was excellent. There was another
Kate
one from
Boyer,
David as
CI.
well.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
throw a
another really
couple
good
more
one
up
from
there, if you
David.
would.
David had mentioned brand awareness is the next stage to self-awareness. When you know one, you know the other. and I thought that was fantastic to bring
Oh,
up.
I love
Absolutely.
that.
What else? We have any good ones?
That's all we've got for now. That I think are
All
really good.
right. William Rock is calling you a rock star.
Oh,
CLB, Christine L. Bowen.
I love him. Thank you, William. And I
So,
just want to shout out, if it's okay, to
yeah,
all my lovely peeps in the audience, no, excuse me, in the sandbox with us.
the playground.
Phil, Dave, William, Kate, Nicole.
Wayne
Um,
met her.
Wayne's out there as well. Just thank you all for being here. I'm
Hmm.
not sure if Deborah checked in, but she did say she'd swing.
Deborah Oakland is in the house.
Deborah's in the
She's in
house. Yeah.
Laguna Beach in the house.
Yeah. So just thank you all for playing full out with us on this new playground. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's huge. It's really huge. So the invitation, again, as always, is Christine and I are initiating the conversation. We have invested already 3+ hours just in showing up and playing with you today. That's how important our conversation is with you, not just between Christine and I. So we desire and require that you get in the game and you get your comments on as well. Share the program. Come on back in the replay because there's more goodies in between the spaces between the word and the breath and the punctuation because my dear friend CLB and I are on fire and inspired.
Mhm.
So that leads me into the human moments we have. We are often struck by lightning with the epiphany of a vision, and unless we are committed to feeding that fire and feeding our vision every day as if it's a job and a career, because it is, unless we do that, that vision will fade. And we do that enough times, and there you have a pattern of commitment and fading and forgetfulness. So, first and foremost, in the nuts and bolts of being a visionary leader, as I said in my open, this doesn't necessarily mean that you're on a stage or people, millions of people know you are fans. You can be a visionary leader of your own personal vision, and that's where it starts, friends. Um, Again, you have to have a daily practice. Whether and meditation, mindfulness, that is great, but that's an adjunct to your practice to vision, revision, adjust your strategy, recommit over and over and over until you meet and exceed your vision and your expectations. Now, that's rare, but those are the qualities that the people I mapped out in the beginning, great leaders, visionaries, maestros, masters, champions, all, they're no different than you. In fact, Christine and I are going to jump into a great conversation that the differential is when we see the stories of great success, trailblazers, leaders, often they omit the human story of how many times they fell and failed along their way. So, Christine, jump in because that was really something you brought to the fore in our conversations, and I would love for you to sort of paint the picture for us and for me again, if you would, please.
Absolutely. I can definitely speak from my heart on this one because this is something that I have had to overcome, and it's a daily effort to continue to overcome it. And so don't allow someone else's highlight reel to influence or shed any kind of light on your behind the scenes. And I'm paraphrasing one of my favorite quotes. You know, the struggle with insecurity is comparing your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. Comparison is the thief of success, the thief of joy, and the thief of our vision and our light. And this is something that I had to address and face and conquer because you see yourself at chapter 1 or 2, and here you're coming across people that are not even on chapter end, but they're on their next volume, and you're thinking, well, oh my goodness, I'm not where I should be. I'm not good enough, or whatever those negative self-talk phrases that come up into your mind. This happens to me all the time, even to this day. I've just learned to address it better. So comparison is something that it keeps you stagnant, it steals your vision, it limits your vision, and it prevents others from benefiting from what that vision is. So our job is to accept it, our vision, embrace it, and understand and be okay with where we are in our journey, and be confident that you are right where you need to be.
Amen. And if I can add to that just a tiny bit, there is no boom in the comparison room.
I love that.
And so the quote that Christine is referring to is from Steve Furtick, and the literal quote is, "The reason we struggle with insecurity is because we compare our behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel."
Yeah.
So one of the things that Christine and I tossed back and forth and felt was a really great invitation is, as you're weaving and authoring your story and claiming your authority, why not just be unvarnished and vulnerable? That's our next subject. One of the deepest, strongest pillars and qualities of a great leader is vulnerability. Now, the philosophy of the mindfulness advantage training and mindfulness practice in general is we practice a consciousness of being in an action cycle of power with rather than power over. So it does not mean to be a great visionary leader to be some stalwart. You know, it's the old school picture that, that you're going to be the silent, strong leader. You're going to go out and do battle. Well, all I have to say, all those banged up, scarred, arm in a sling warriors is, how's that been working for you? And the reality is, most of us are tired of the battle. And it wears us down. Yes or no, friends? I'll say yes. One of the most important pieces I want to add also to what Christine just spoke to is that when we use models of success as our models, as our templates, there is always the unconscious invitation to compare. And so actually some people might have a perception, wow, I'm still dancing with this comparison thing. And like there's something wrong with you. Everything is right about you. Because you're stretching, so you're not in your comfort zone. Two, you're pinning your ears back, and you feel an awareness of comparing. So rather than the right, wrong, win-lose comparison, just use your model and where you are as two metrics. And one of the things that is really powerful for me is an inner inquiry, is a question held as an empty cup, which is, am I on purpose in this action today? Am I on purpose today? And some people say, well, what if I don't know what my purpose is? Well, do everything purposely and with presence. That's being on purpose too. And in that space, you become the empty cup where you can receive inspiration and direction as to what your purpose is. So above and beyond comparison, how do we manage? In fact, let's just keep it personal. How do you manage, and what are your toolbox, Christine, to manage your doubt? Because what little I know of you, and I'm delighted that we're now friends and we're building a strong relationship based on heart and spirit. What I know of you is that you are committed to stretching forward every day. So, one, share with us how that process brings up your shadow, and how do you dance with it with so much grace?
Oh my, am I dancing with grace?
Yes, you are, girl.
Sometimes I feel like I have two left feet. But I first I have to give a shout out to my main man, Manny St. Victor, Dr. Manny
Yeah.
Victor. I want to call up though what Dave Moore brought about, because this is going to be directly related to my response. He says meditation, rituals, practice even success in business, they all stand and fall on one thing: consistency. What
Yeah.
we do consistently shapes us, builds us, and grows us. So speaking from a personal level, uh-oh, you know what I did, Andy? Okay, I got it. I unpinned and forgot to remove. Now everyone knows we're live. Um, yeah, definitely mindfulness. I want to bring to the forefront something you shared because it's directly related to me and everyone that's participating in this playground. Is you mentioned an empty cup, being able to receive the inspiration from our divine, our higher power, our God, and that is where the vision should come from. If you're doubtful of whether you have the right vision, I'd suffice to say that it's probably not. Because when you receive the inspiration from your higher power, the vision for your life, you just know it. And with all of that said, for me, and I'm sure many of us, like Gio said, there are these shadows. Your shadow, I call it resistance, that you must deal with. And I brought up Dave's comment because consistently being mindful every single day for me in prayer and meditation, first thing in the morning, setting my mind for the day, uh, it reinforces my worthiness. It reinforces my danceability. It reinforces that, yes, I am enough. And what it also does is it opens me my awareness. It awakens this side of me that I'm able to better detect the right people. Every single day I'm meeting individuals who, in some way, shape, or form, are related to my purpose and vision, whether they're there for a reason, a specific reason, a season, or a lifetime. And being in that state of awareness every day is what allows us to not just be confident in our vision and in our ability and worthiness, but also in our ability to be calm, be peaceful in the midst of chaos. Because we all are experiencing, many people I've spoken with these days are experiencing some kind of cataclysmic or chaotic experience, whether it's financially, spiritually, relationally. It's something's going on in people's lives today.
Mm-hmm.
And being mindful and connecting yourself with the right people is, for me, that's what allows me to keep peaceful in my heart, and most importantly, staying connected with the divine every single day. So
Yeah.
consistency is my answer with being mindful.
Yeah. Consistency is essential. What we're dealing with is a neurophysiology that is wired for familiarity. And Manny, I'm sure you can jump in here because he and I both share a love and appreciation and a foundation of our work in neurophysiology, independent neuroplasticity, which is what happens when we fix our attention in its entirety on one thing, say our breath or an intention or a feeling. But we live in a society that is immersed in distraction and conflict.
Mhm.
So, a couple things I want to speak to and add to what you said is one, there may be a surface perception of cataclysm or crisis that we're experiencing internally. We're certainly witnessing the theater of crisis in the outer world. And I say theater because we have narrow choices for how we receive our information and our news. And unfortunately, tragedy and crisis and conflict and opposition sells soap and cereal and deodorant and cars. But the reality is, when and if we commit to align ourselves with what is new and emerging, we have a different worldview and we have a different relationship with what is emerging. That goes to the perception of personal chaos. The reality is, as you said and I said, we're all being called up and out to really step into our truth, our vision, our essence, our heart, and our greater purpose. And I believe we've all made a new covenant with divinity, with our Creator, however you call and relate to um, creation and Creator. And that is, please whatever I'm hanging on to that doesn't serve me and no longer has or never has, make it so heavy I can't carry it anymore. So one, a lot what I'm seeing and a lot of people are sharing with me and asking me, hey, what's going on? Is long-term relationships that are dissolving. Job opportunities that are expiring. People having to move, having to readjust their strategy and their trajectory. There's no more autopilot, period. So part of being a visionary leader is being, as Christine said, in the flow. Being in the flow means and invites us to be present to what is active, one, within us. Are we moving into and towards our vision or apart from and away? And also be present to what is presented to us as a new opportunity. So when you're in that flow, what appears on the surface to be chaos is actually your new truth, the resurrection of yourself and your vision emerging through this shell of whatever your past was. You have to surrender your past and travel light to be a visionary and to build a new world brick by brick, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat, step by step. That's, for me, what it means to be a visionary. Along the way in that commitment, you're going to scare the bejesus out of yourself. That's your shadow coming up. That's your neurological wiring, your neurological substrate that's used to a level and giving consent to a level of chaos. And part of being a successful leader and visionary is sitting with the inner arguments through mindfulness or meditation or counsel or coaching or training so that we can be aware of what is in opposition to our outcome and our fulfillment so we can make new agreements, new high agreements. And the reality is no shadow, no grief, no sadness, no apathy, no anxiety, no grief, no anger, no rage can survive in the blazing fire of your awareness in your heart. So it's really, we're not required to do anything. We're certainly not required to do battle with or arm wrestle our shadow and our inner disagreements. We just have to sit in compassion with self. That's the doing is to be, and to be in this moment. Another really important piece, but first, station break. You're watching the Lucid Living Show. I'm your host, George E. Green, and we're with the fabulous, fantastic, sparkle queen, Christine L. Bowen, CLB. And we are talking about visionary leadership and the components of imagination, creativity, and collaboration that fire up and become the fuel and the inertia for us to grow, develop, evolve, and embody our dreams and visions. So a great conversation you and I had yesterday in preparation for the show is many people that we encounter as mentors, trainers, and coaches encounter people who have a meme and a narrative. I don't know how to fill in the blank. I don't know how to build my vision. And from that space, first, I don't know closes the door on ever knowing. You've just created a decree that says I don't know, I'll never know. So one, choose to know. Two, our strategy is not only to help you dive into and claim your vision, but to learn how to scale it. So why don't you speak to that, Christine, because that was a really favorite part of our conversation yesterday.
Oh, yeah. You shared so much. Everyone, I'm in student mode right now. George, you're amazing. You're bringing the fire. And everyone in the sandbox, the comments are just simply amazing. Thank you, everyone.
Let me just jump in. We're in this together, and it's a street and a river of reciprocity. I learn as much from you as you do from me, and our comfort. This is partnership and great leadership in action, because we've built a rapport and a relationship, and we have asked for and given permission to be vulnerable, to be unvarnished, and to be a goober, in my case, so we can let the fire fly, so we can have a blank canvas and sling some paint. So you honor me, and you're just as honorable in your position and part and participation on our playground. So scaling our vision.
Thank you. Yes. If I may, I'm going to go back just a bit on something you shared. Uh, that's another part of being a visionary leader. You got to know how to have fun. Um, you mentioned guarding your mindset with the everyday things, and that is so, so true. News, even social media, there's so much noise out there that it can cloud your vision and the clarity that you have on your vision. And when I say your, that is a collective. Um, so for me, there's one of my favorite quotes, which will lead me to a three-pronged, if you will, step by step of how do we, translate this vision and transfer it to others and impact others, is by one of my mentors. He is one of my favorites when it comes to the prosperity mindset, Mr. Randy Gage. And he says, cataclysmic challenge plus cataclysmic change equals breathtaking opportunity. I had to stick this one in here because it goes back to the chaos piece. It's always in how we look at things. And Dr. Wayne Dyer says when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. And for me, that one mindset shift is what allowed me to open myself up to my vision, because I started to look at my vision not as something that was serving me, but something that serves the world and others. It's a call to duty. It's a post, if you will. We're soldiers, and we are leading the way to help people raise consciousness in any vision. It doesn't matter what the vision is. It is there to serve others. So for me, 3 things that I can share that helps us to map our vision and map our mindset of not just keeping it to ourselves but releasing it to the world. First and foremost is be still. Be still. Be mindful. Invest time every day consistently to be at one with your thoughts, your creator, and to tap into that vision that's placed within your heart. Because as Gio said, it can get overshadowed and clouded by everything that's around us. So that daily stillness definitely helps to keep your confidence level up in what it is that's placed within your heart. It also allows us to receive more pieces, more parts of that picture. One thing I've understood with vision is you don't have to see the whole picture. You just get it in pieces, what you can handle in the moment of time that you're in. So when in those moments of stillness, you're able to see more of the picture, receive your instructions for the day, literally, and that has been phenomenal, a phenomenal practice for me. And some people say, well, I don't know how to meditate. Meditation can take place, or mindfulness, in many different ways. So if just sitting in one place is not serving you, walk with nature. For me, that's one of the most magnificent experiences, to walk with nature. Don't have any music and nothing, none of, just you and nature. And just looking at the creation is what allows your vision to expand even more, and I'm going to get into that. The second thing is to journal. Write everything down. Habakkuk 2:2, write down the vision, make it plain, make it simple too, so that you can clearly understand it and inspire yourself every single day. I do that. Last but certainly not least, give yourself permission. Permission to challenge the status quo. Look at things. Visionary leaders look at things differently. We don't see things for what they are. We see them for what they can become, or how they can just not even exist anymore. It just depends on what it is. How can we make things better? How can we improve on this? How can we put a spin on it to make it more practical? just with this avenue of Google Hangouts on air. It's just totally inspiring. It's an open playground for us to translate our vision. And God bless the people who are utilizing it. And two people that I have to shout out to that I believe are just trailblazing when it comes to visionary leadership with this format is my beautiful peeps, Phil and Kate Boyer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Man, they're doing an amazing job with Google Hangouts on air and just flipping the script on what's the norm. And so those three things: be still, journal, and give yourself permission to challenge the status quo.
Absolutely. That is perfect. We're going to jump for just a second to a comment from Manny St. Victor. Andy, if you could pull that up. 3.
Yep. Consistent mindfulness changes your my
Myelination.
myelination and tones your flight response at the core. It physiologically changes how you perceive reality and the opportunities within it. So fantastic.
Absolutely. That is, I'm going to quote one of my mentors and favorite authors, Blank, the author of Buddha's Brain, Dr. Rick Hanson. His new book is Hardwiring Happiness. We have a negative bias in our neurophysiology, the wiring, because of fight or flight. And if we're not stimulated now by crisis and an invitation to worry and have anxiety with what's going on externally, not to mention what is happening internally as we're changing and evolving, and all these familiar structures and consents and concepts and attachments are dissolving. But the reality is, when we commit, 1, to be still, 2, to journal. What was number 3, Christine, real quick?
Give yourself permission.
Yeah, when we're outside of that, when we're outside of a mindfulness practice, then we are resurrecting and rebooting survival and fear. And we have an opportunity to choose from and create from love or fear, so pick one and stay with it. Mindfulness, meditation practice, even what science has determined now is that even just 10 minutes of a mindfulness practice daily can grow your hippocampus and other critical areas of your brain by 25% in 8 weeks. When I say grow, doesn't mean your brain's going to get too big for your skull. It just means that the hippocampus and these other areas of your brain will grow more dense with greater connections. So quite literally, it's like going from dial-up to broadband, friends. And so, you know, when you're in survival mode, the coherent communication of your 3 brains, your lizard brain, your most primitive, your limbic system, which is emotional, and your neocortex, which is your intellect, they're going in 3 different directions when your hair is on fire. When you meditate, you bring those 3 brains back into alignment and in partnership, and that's the zone of excellence, in part, that great leaders, visionaries, masters, champions, maestros, and just basic art noodlers around the globe employ for their great works, period. Let's see, a quick ID here. You're watching the Lucid Living Show. I'm your host, George E. Green. We have Christine L. Bowen in the house from CLB Creative Consulting. We have Andy Bryan as our producer today from hangouttribes.com. And we're talking about visionary leadership. Let's do a time check here. We are coming into the last few minutes. So, Christine, I'm going to ask you, if you would, do you have a free page, a landing page? Talk a little bit about that, and if you would put that link in the comment stream right now, please.
I shall. Thank you. My mind is racing in a good way. This conversation, this playground, all of this sand flying in the air, it's everyone's on fire. Yeah. You all are awesome. So I'm placing this link. Let me add my text to it. It's my gift to everyone who makes the decision to join us on this new playground. I'm typing and talking at the same time. My gift to you. Okay. It's a call to action, inspired action. There's a gift there that you can download. There's no opt-in, sign-in, none of that. It's just my gift to you so that you can read it every single day. It is something that is hanging on my wall, and it keeps me inspired that I am enough, that I am obligated to shine my light. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But thank you for allowing me to share it. I'll say it audibly. It's christinelbowen.com/lucid living show. All one word.
Yeah, yeah. So please stay with us for the last few minutes. We have a special treat. I open with first words, and I usually close the program with your moments in mindfulness. And I invited Christine to do what my guests do towards the end of the program, which is give their call to inspiration and action. She did that. She polished it. I read it last night, fell backwards out of my chair. My hair was on fire. My heart was beating hard and fast. And so I have invited Christine to handle our final segment this afternoon, this morning. And so Christine will be piloting your moments in mindfulness, because there really is nothing I can add to your statement. You spoke as if from my own heart, and that is just another sign, another indicator, another benchmark of our level of visionary agreement and partnership and leadership. And so I was instantly inspired to spring this on you this morning. I'm laughing because I'm looking at Christine's look of anticipation, because I'm calling myself up. I'm calling you, friends, up off the bench and into the game. And as I do when I call myself, I call my friends. So Christine, you're up in a minute. Andy, if you would jump on up to the big screen and give us some closing words and thoughts, my friend.
Okay, I just say another fantastic conversation. They've all been very, very mindful, let's say, and very focused on visionary leadership in some way or form each and every conversation, I believe. As I sit here today, I've got my vision board in front of me, and my vision board just says to me as I look up, vision is reality, and I think that's so true. I think in reality we don't know what's real and what's not in our minds, and when we create a vision of what we want, anything can happen within our lives. So that's what I wanted to share today.
Well said, my brother, my wingman and producer, Andy Bryan of HangoutTribes.com. One last invitation here before Christine launches into your moments in mindfulness is that I've just thrown a link up in the comment stream as well. We're inviting you, whether it's connecting with Christine, connecting with me, connecting with yourself, or someone else like us. It's time for you to collaborate, to imagine and create, and be not only the visioneer, but enroll people in your vision, the right kinds of people. It's time for you to enroll people to help you, hold you accountable. So what Christine and I and Andy are offering to you are opportunities to connect with us, to talk with us without investment, but to really, what's helpful for me, I called in my mentor last week because I had generated so much amazing results in my life that some of my shadow came up. It's invaluable. So we invite you for no other reason other than to be able to talk and share your vision with somebody. Connect with us, play with us. We may discover we're other than a good fit, but we are great resources. We can point you in the right direction as well. So, Andy, if you would, please put your live link for Hangout Tribes in the comment stream as well. And we're just inviting you to be curious and to add to your bag of tricks and resources. So I am so delighted that y'all have been here. Y'all, I'm definitely was from Texas. That you all have been with us because you are our friends and family. We invite you to enthusiastically share this program, come back in the replay, and keep the conversation going. Let's continue with comments and questions till the cows come home. So now my final segment, and my distinct honor is to invite Christine Bowen in to do our final segment, Your Moments in Mindfulness, and I'll come back in the end just to say thank you. So dive in, Christine. Bring the fire, sister.
Hooah. Okay. Before I jump into the call to inspired action, I want to thank you, George, Geo Boom, as I call you,
Yeah.
for allowing me to play on this new playground. I want to thank Andy Bryan, another one of my divine connections, for your expertise and allowing this series to flow with ease, and a special place in my heart for everyone that's in this sandbox and actively playing with us. Thank you for your support, your kind words, and most importantly, your inspired thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So I will close out with call to inspired action. One of my favorite passages is from Marianne Williamson in A Return to Love. And the first few sentences say, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. I reveal to you that there is a light inside of you that is yearning to shine brightly. I urge you to listen to the sound of your inner voice, your intuition, your light. Be still every day and meditate on the thoughts that flow effortlessly to your mind and to your heart. Record all of your inspired thoughts, regardless of how ridiculous or ambiguous they may seem. When you recognize the thoughts that warm your heart and beckon your soul, you have discovered and uncovered your divinely designed vision, your light. I gently caution you to hold fast to your vision firmly and clearly, but trust the process. Take inspired action every day toward the fulfillment of your understanding of the vision in your heart, even if you don't see the whole picture, even if you feel like you've made a misstep. I encourage you to carry on, to move forward. Keep moving forward in faith, knowing that you are putting your dent in the universe. Actively seek your divine connections, your divine partners, and as you find them and or they find you, allow them to help you fulfill your vision. If it seems slow in coming, wait. Its fulfillment is on its way, and it will come right on time. Last but certainly not least, I urge you to challenge the status quo. Give yourself permission to think differently. Honor your individuality and experience the freedom of expressing your individuality. Give yourself permission to honor your light and let your light shine. In doing so, you will not only elevate and enlighten your life, you will impact and inspire others to do the same. Realize that your vision is your brilliant color palette on the world's canvas. Actively play your part in the manifestation of your God-given vision into reality. Create your reality with your vision. Live your reality by taking inspired action on your vision, and be your reality by allowing the divine to guide your brushstrokes. Be the visionary leader you were designed to be. Take inspired action now to create, live, and be the vision that has been placed within your heart.
Your moments in mindfulness, brought with great heart and authenticity by my dear friend Christine L. Bowen. I have a quick question. Andy and Christine, are you both available after the show for a few minutes of after party?
Absolutely.
Andy?
I can stay for a while, but then I've got to run.
Yeah,
For the
just a
show.
few minutes. I'm inspired. When we go offline here in just a minute or two, as soon as we go offline, Andy, if you throw the green room link in, we're inviting anybody that's still with us to jump in, ask some questions, make some comments. One, thanks to Christine L. Bowen, CLB Creative Consulting, Andy Brine, our producer, hangouttribes.com, and thanks to our host, me, George E. Green, for having the vision, the fire, the courage, and the desire to create this sustainable change to go ahead and throw down and have this series of shows. Quick programming note, next week, next Thursday, episode 6 of the 6-week series. We're bringing all our friends back, plus author Paul Samuel Dolman. We are going to have 8 people in the film strip. You definitely want to be with us for next Thursday when we wrap up a week before Thanksgiving here in the United States. Also, tune in Tuesday night to my new The Mindfulness Advantage show. We have some great guests coming up. The Lucid Living show is going on hiatus after next week, the 20th. We will be back for a 3 or 4 week series called the Lucid Living Show No Ordinary Moments. And if you think you've got your hair blown back this week, hang on till December. It keeps getting better and better. We keep bringing the fire. You've been watching the Lucid Living Show, and I am your host, George E. Green. Thanks for being with us, and join us in the Afterglow party in just a minute. Thanks for being with us, friends.